Welcome to the 10th edition of Full Moon's Video Zone. I hope you've enjoyed Bad Channels. It's a real departure for us. We're usually giving you pictures like Puppet Master and Doll Man and Subspecies, and now we decided to do this comedy, this sci-fi fantasy rock video. So if you've enjoyed the film and if you like the music, we also have available on Moonstone Records the original score by Blue Oyster Cult, so you should try to check that one out. Also, we got Dr. Mordred coming up next. That's a picture that I directed and feel really, really strong about, starring Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator and From Beyond. In any case, we had a lot of fun making Bad Channels, and I think you'll find that reflected in this current edition of the Video Zone. So check it out, and I'll see you next time.
Don't touch that dial.
I think it would be a good idea if everybody turned off their radios.
Because Full Moon is going to take you on a sci-fi rock and roller coaster ride with Bad Channels.
Action!
It was an incredible stroke of luck and casting genius to get MTV VJ Martha Quinn for the lead role of feisty reporter Lisa Cummings.
All by myself here, working on what could be the biggest story in history, Flip.
For most of the movie, I'm very offended at all the wrongdoings going on. And there's one scene just slightly before all the wrongdoings ensue where I see the first, or I'm looking for the UFO that I've seen, and I'm all happy and all excited. So I like that scene because it's the one time I get to be happy and excited instead of just really mad.
Well, I'm a big fan of Martha's, you know. I've been watching MTV for years now, and I frankly have a crush on her. We love Martha. She's a talented, a gifted actress. She's up there with Merle, Sheep, and all of them.
Mostly what I've been reacting to in horror is either the director going like this, okay, this is the monster over here. It's the director! Or a piece of tape, you know, that's labeled fungus.
You know the song The Mighty Quinn by, what was her name? Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan wrote Mighty Quinn, that's right. Manfred Mann also did it, but it's about her. She wasn't born yet, but he knew she was coming.
We just got buzzed by a UFO.
No.
I gotta get my camera.
Maybe it was some Air Force deal or something.
Oh, yeah. Air Force from another planet. Oh, Jesus, this is great. A real story. I'm right in the middle of it. Yes! Woo! Yeah!
I think the most fun thing about Bad Channel is that it sort of combined three things that I love most: UFOs, rock and roll, and comedy.
He's a very, very talented man. I idolize him. I worship him. I can't say enough about, what's his name? Ted. What's his last name? Nicolau. Whatever. He's a great guy.
Mark.
That great guy, Ted Nicolau, also directed TerrorVision and Full Moon's Subspecies.
Okay. The wall. Lisa!
Dan!
Lisa! Jars on the floor. Quick, take these.
Blue Oyster Cult is going to do the score, actually. It's going to be very interesting. I think the soundtrack's going to have the overtones of rock and roll mixed in with, you know, more traditional kind of science fiction soundtrack.
Clear channel or not, there'll be no more rock and roll on Superstation 66.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll never hear another tube horn on this frequency again.
After starring in the Buddy Holly story on Broadway and London's West End, Paul Hipp comes to Hollywood as dangerous Dan O'Dare.
Is on the air! There's no business like show business, like no business I know.
Dan is kind of the wild man of rock and roll. In this movie, I think that it's interesting. I mean, it's like a sci-fi movie, but I think it's interesting what happens to Dan because he goes through a transformation sort of from like a huckster to a hero. It's this little journey for this guy from being a real scumbag to being a hero, a human being. Who'd have thunk it when I was a little boy growing up in Philadelphia that one day I would grow up and be in Hollywood killing aliens with Lysol. It's a dream come true.
And how about those aliens, especially Lump, who looks a little like R2-D2?
Yeah, he's his third cousin, actually. Came from the same factory. That's his running joke on the show, because he does bear a resemblance. But he doesn't like to admit to that relation of the family. We used a variety of materials. Essentially, he's built like a real robot. He's metal, aluminum, a lot of plastics. Yeah, we've got a brain in there that pulses. He meets a gruesome end at some point during the film.
And serving Lump is Lumps is the monster core of the alien Cosmo. Special effects designer and creator Greg Aronowitz
Give me a big kiss.
Is very affectionate with his monstrous offspring.
No tongue. Thank you. Inside, he's got a variety of mechanical armatures, and we didn't want to be limited to any one thing, so we're using all kinds of stuff. We got a radio-controlled head, and we got a cable-controlled neck. We're putting some final touches on the amorphous Cosmo here. Painting his eyes. One thing we did with this creature was stay in close touch with the director, Ted, and the production designer, Cecily. And we worked out the design and the color scheme and made my job real easy. Trying to keep the colors real bright on him so that he stands out in the dark set. And even though he's a monster, he still has to have kind of a sympathetic look. We'll give him some pretty brown eyes.
Inside some of Full Moon's most horrifying monsters and terrifying space aliens you will often find Mike Deek.
Well, as you can see, I am the alien. I play Cosmo in the film. I get to wear this fine-looking fungus head there on the set the whole time. I think it was sort of typecasting. Since this alien does come down to take over a rock and roll station, they needed someone to be alien to rock and roll, so they figured they'd hire a guy that only listens to Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin. Perfect for the part, right?
What you are seeing is not another monster from bad channels. You are experiencing the members of Psychotic Symphony.
Filled with joy this time of season, I'm always happy for no reason.
And the interesting thing about these guys is that they wear their masks off stage as well as on stage. So we had the strange experience of going up and shaking hands and kind of making the initial deal with them, speaking to these guys in these strange masks, one with big cheeks and barf kind of blowing out of his mouth. And it was a unique experience trying to be serious while talking to these guys. They proved to be really interesting and fascinating guys, and they really approached the film with complete energy and really gave us a lot of great material to work with.
I'm so happy, they're so happy, won't you like to be happy too?
The symphony certainly had a strange effect on Nurse Ginger.
That was crazed, I must say. They were maniacs, and they were very proud of my wildness that overtook me. I don't know how. Just the music went, and so did I. That's what they wanted, wildness, and I did it. And I was so sore.
It's distracting, isn't it?
Touching myself
Also performing in bad channels is DMT.
We wanted one band that was like sort of cutting edge hard rock, and I was a little apprehensive that they were going to get into this scene that we had constructed around them, which involved cheerleaders and marching bands and the whole Canoga Park High School cheerleading and band, and they actually got into it.
Another band rocking out in bad channels is Fair Game.
We were looking for an all-girl band too, and Dean found this band called Ron Keel and Fair Game. And Ron Keel is actually not a girl, he's a guy, but he's been around for a long time on the Los Angeles music scene and has assembled this band of female instrumentalists, and they are all really great.
If you look closely, you will see Full Moon spokesperson and star of Meridian and Puppet Master 2, Charlie Spradling, playing a rockin' waitress.
I've never been a waitress, and I kept spilling the tray. It kept falling, and we kept having to retake everything because every time we started, this tray would spill because I didn't know how to balance the tray on my hands. So it was interesting.
Being the Full Moon poster girl has made Charlie very popular with Full Moon fans.
Oh, I get lots of fan mail from all you guys. I read them all of them. They all get to me.
10,000 calls an hour?
Pull the plug in the station, Sheriff. Cut the power right now.
What do you mean pull the plug? You can't do that, not with those demographics.
What is the perfect equation for another Full Moon classic? Horrifying aliens, beautiful women, and great rock and roll.
Is that in this?
Bad channels.
Well, quite a bit has happened to Jack Death. He's now a private detective in Los Angeles, and he's not doing very well. And he's married to Lena, but their marriage is on kind of shaky ground. And in the middle of all this personal turmoil and angst, he gets kidnapped up the line to the far future, where the transfer war has actually now taken place. And is being fought in the future by Raines and McNulty and Alice Stillwell. And they send Jack back down the line to the origin point of the trancers to kill the Army officer who began the trancing experiments in the first place, even before the character of Whistler. My approach to this actually goes back to a long-standing friendship I have with Tim Thomerson. Tim was in another film that I wrote several years ago called Vietnam, Texas, and we became friends. And when we started to discuss trancers, we discovered that we had a great mutual interest in writers like Elmore Leonard and Raymond Chandler, and that our enthusiasms were very much along those lines. So that when Trancers 3 came up as an opportunity for me, I decided to take a much harder, hard-edged, gritty approach to the material. It's exciting for me to direct because this process allows me to take what I've done creatively through that final phase when you make a movie, as opposed to just writing a screenplay, turning it in, and having other people execute it. Now suddenly I am the one who is responsible for the way it's shot and the performances the actors are given, and it's a lot of responsibility, but it's wonderful because it is just a natural extension of something I feel I've been doing all along. I like science fiction and horror movies because there aren't any limits. You're not constricted as to what you can and can't do. You can let your imagination run all over the place if you want to. In a movie like Trancers 3, I could take an action movie approach and then push the boundaries because it's a science fiction movie. And that to me is a lot of fun, and making movies should be fun.
he has guarded the gateway between our world and the dark dimensions. Since the beginning of time, he has defended the human race against the demons that would unleash hell on Earth. Now, he searches for the omens that will tell him evil's ultimate warrior has arrived, sent to weave the spells that will turn our reality into a terrifying realm of black magic. Our only hope is the master of the unknown. Dr. Mordred. The spell is cast this summer. In Comet Valley, the seeds that aliens have planted have grown inside of human souls.
Somebody's fooling around in that orchard tonight, Thurman. Look, I got a crop I gotta get in now. Something's gotta be done about this.
The question is, are you one of them or one of us?
Now, they are readying mankind for the harvest that will enslave the Earth.
This is the creature I saw in the room with her, Heidi. We can't be sure about anyone anymore.
I'll chop you to pieces. I have unleashed a terrible thing on the world.
Seed people, the root of all evil. In an abandoned warehouse, evil has been waiting, watching, wanting for someone to play with its toys.
We're gonna have a lot of fun here tonight, friend.
Someone's inside the toys. What do you want?
Demonic toys. Now on video cassette from Full Moon Entertainment. Beyond desire. Beyond evil. Beyond imagination. Lies the doorway between heaven and hell. Netherworld. Now on video cassette from Full Moon Entertainment. On Arturos, Brick Bardo is the toughest cop around. On Earth, he's the size of a dog.
Homies together, we're going to war.
Are you in the wrong neighborhood?
Doll Man, 13 inches, with an attitude. Now on video cassette from Full Moon Entertainment.
Hi, Full Moon fans. I'm Charlie Spradling. I'm here at Dr. Mordred's Magical Dimension to tell you about all the great new merchandise we have at Full Moon. The CDs for Netherworld and Subspecies have just hit the record stores. Netherworld has 4 original songs by rock legend Edgar Winter, and its instrumental scores by Bon Jovi's keyboardist David Bryan. Then you can go from Honky Tonk Blues to Vampire Chills with Subspecies, which has the world-famous Amon Folk Ensemble performing music to raise the undead. And don't forget to pick up Moonstone soundtracks for Puppet Master, The Pit and the Pendulum, and Meridian. You can count the days until our next full moon release with our 1992 calendar. Every month gives you a full color poster and enough facts about horror and science fiction movies to entertain you for the year to come. Just kidding. Be sure to keep up your collection of full moon trading cards. We've just gotten sets from Demonic Toys and Netherworld. They have glossy art on the front and everything you've wanted to know about our monsters on the back, from their heights to their eating habits. Rawr. Just because the full moon movie's over doesn't mean the excitement stopped. Eternity Comics has turned our pictures into explosive graphic adaptions of Dollman and Demonic Toys, letting you follow the further adventures of Brick Bardo and the band of killer toys. Don't forget to order your favorite full moon t-shirt with our official logo on the front and your favorite artwork on the back. But the best way for you to get your official full moon t-shirt is by joining our fan club. For only $20, you'll get the Full Moon t-shirt, our Moon Flash newsletter, and the chance to get even more incredible collector's items. For more information about the fan club and the Full Moon merchandise, you can call our toll-free hotline at 1-800-999-9559 or write to Full Moon Entertainment, P.O. Box 526, 8721 Santa Monica Boulevard, West Hollywood, California, 90069. Keep watching Video Zone, and be sure and watch for me in Bad Channels, a new full moon movie. Keep writing me those letters, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.